Okay, so for this screencast, we're doing a browser running from home over VPN to the US West Coast, connecting to data center on the East Coast. It's 3 controller nodes with 4 compute hosts and 250 instances. So what you have here is the standard Horizon browser, and we're looking at the instances table. And you'll see that there's a few forms of search that are enabled here, and you can do things like do a wildcard search on the instance name. This is because the Nova API actually supports regular expressions when you're searching on the instance name. So if you do that, you can see you'll actually get all the instances that start with, say, purple star. If we jump over to the status and we try to then type in a particular status we want, we do the filter button and you see we don't have any results. So this means that I either have something wrong in the status field or I don't know what the actual status is. So if I try to do, say, a shut star, so another type of quick wildcard expression, I still don't have any results. This is actually because the Nova API, as well as many APIs, don't actually support wildcard expressions on many of the API calls. So the actual status field is shut off, and let's take a look at what this means in terms of performance in current Horizon. So it goes off, it makes its request, it gets rendered by Django in the back end, and the total time for us to get our result is 6.73 seconds. So I think we can do a little bit better with that. Let's switch over to a UI that we have built using the new AngularJS environment. This means there's running more client-side code, less Django-side rendering. In fact, there's no Django-side rendering. But we're going to be using purely data coming from the Elasticsearch based search service that we have built. So to start off with, you'll see that if we go ahead and type in the shutoff column name and hit enter, our results are nearly instantaneous. So you can see we got back 3 instances immediately. And our time for waiting for those results to come back from the server, 279 milliseconds. And the combination of removing the Django server-side rendering as well as the Elasticsearch service is what really enables this vastly improved search performance. So let's take a look at some of the actual search features that we get using the search service. So now if I want to do shut star, this is actually now just did a full text search using wildcards across all the columns on the Nova instances, and you can see we actually did find a status of shut off. So we can also do things like get the fastest dynamically populated. So this is one of the awesome benefits here. When you do your status column, it's now going to give you the exact available statuses of instances for this project. So you can see that we have the shutoff is right there available to us. There's no more guessing of whether or not there's even any in there. We can see just by the fact that it's listed there that there are instances in that status. So if you take a look at the active status, you can see we've now limited it down to 246 items, and we can start combining our facets here. So maybe we want to go ahead and add back in that purple star wildcarding. So now we're faceting on the status. We did the purple star, and you can see we get nearly instant results all the way down to, say, now we've only got 9 items returned. If we now want to sort based off of the image name, this is also getting a dynamically populated list that will only show us image names that are really in our environment. So if we limit that down to Fedora, you can see we are now down to 5 items in our list. So just like that, a few quick clicks and our ability to actually find instances in our environment is drastically improved. And you can see as we remove the facets, the results are updated in real time. And this is all coming from the search service. So let's take a look at some other interesting things we can do here. So for example, let's say I want to see all the instances on a particular host. If we go in here and take a look, there we go. We got 71 items on this particular host. And if we want to then say, see how many are in the air status, again, it's very easy, just status, air. There you go. On this host, there's only 1 instance that's in an air status. So extremely powerful, extremely quick to be able to narrow down your search results. We can clear off all the facets, start again. And the thing that I want to point out is how many different facets we can actually populate up. And this is all dynamically based off the power of Elasticsearch. So we can choose any field we want to expose, and we can use essentially wildcarding on any one of those fields. There's also some really cool other things that Elasticsearch gives you. So if we look here, and let's say I was typing shutoff, but I accidentally mistyped and I typed shutoff using the O. Well, using fuzzy search, this thing is actually still going to find us results. So when we don't have any real results right now, what we've coded this UI demo up to do is go ahead and try to do a research using your fuzzy search. It also works for if you just kind of accidentally put in the wrong order of characters. So like here, instead of saying Fedora, I type Fedroa, and you'll see it still is going to match these results. This is some of the real power that we get out of using a engine that is really designed for both speed as well as for search performance and capabilities. So the other thing that is probably worth noticing here is that with Elasticsearch, you can also very easily change your limit. So how many results do you want to get? How big of a page size do you want? So we can easily change this and say, I really only want to have 50 results returned at a time. I can also change my page size. You can see even in the background as we type that, page size 10, it changed in real time. And now you can see our results that are actually returned back are directly reflected. We can also turn on polling. So if we wanted to poll for update statuses from the search service, we can do that. And we can configure the columns, but also configure which data is actually being returned from the service. So I can say only return data for these particular fields. And here you can see it's just dynamically updated, extremely powerful, and gives the control that you need to really control the search that you want to do. So thank you very much.